Today I have a great, easy recipe for you. It should not take more than 20 minutes, but it tastes as if you took 2 hours of your time to prepare it. I took it from a famous chef in Rome, Gabriele Pascucci, from a cooking show called La Prova del Cuoco. Very simple recipe for you using wild halibut. Wild halibut, some anchovies, some onions or shallots, and tomatoes, fresh plum tomatoes that you can use. But before I start my recipe, I just want to welcome you guys to Chemogemo, and I want to explain to you why you should subscribe and you should watch my videos. First of all, I want to convince you that by watching my videos, you can also bring that taste of the restaurant, that chef quality to your home. And second, if you like Italy and Italian cuisine, if you like authentic Georgian cuisine, this will be the closest to bringing authentic tastes and flavors of Georgia, of Italy to your home. It is possible, guys, particularly in this time in which we're living, in this pandemic and all this uncertainty around the world. So make sure to subscribe. Let me know if you like this video. Only if you like this video, subscribe, or you like some of the other videos. Subscribe, share, and comment. Leave me a comment. Alright, so let's get to our recipe. I'm preheating the pan. Okay, it's been preheating for about 5-10 minutes, so it's quite hot already. I have this wild halibut. I have anchovies. I have some onions, small onions. You can also use shallots because they're sweet. And then tomatoes, similar round shape. That's it. All we're going to use at the end is we're going to add some parsley. So this is quite hot. We're going to use some good olive oil, quality olive oil. Alright guys, so I've added my olive oil right here. Pan is quite hot already. I keep it at low medium. This is stainless steel. So I'm going to add the onions first. Onions and anchovies. Alright? Oh, there's a sizzle that we like. Oh, look at that sizzle. Listen to that sizzle. By the way, I mentioned the cooking show. I watch cooking shows in 4 different languages, guys. I went through my college years watching Food Network. So thank you to the Food Network. Helped me a lot, a great deal. Now we're going to add also the anchovies at this point here. Anchovies, why do we use anchovies? Some people may not like them in general. Well, first of all, they give a depth of flavor to this dish that is amazing. That is just unparalleled. Alright? Wooden spoon. I'm going to get a wooden spoon and I'm going to just melt the anchovies together with the onions. Alright, so we're going to just make a paste out of it. It's going to mix in with the onions and it's going to saute for about 5 minutes on low medium heat. So I was talking about the anchovies. Why do we add anchovies? We add anchovies for the depth of flavor. Even if you do not like anchovies, or you're not a big fan, you're not a particular fan of anchovies, you can still add them knowing well in advance that you're not going to really taste anchovies in this dish. You're going to taste halibut, but it's going to give it that saltiness, that natural saltiness from the sea, from the Mediterranean Sea. These anchovies come from the Mediterranean Sea. So we're going to let this saute for about 5 minutes. Let me know in the comments what questions you have. But this is a very quick express version, express recipe. I would recommend you to use anchovies. Even if you don't like them, you're not a big fan. It gives it that character, that taste that you want for this dish. Alright? So, you want them to get translucent. We're going to add a little bit of salt here. We're going to add just a little bit of salt. Add just a little bit of, make sure not to add too much because the anchovies already are full of flavor and taste. You add salt so that the onions soften. Alright, perfect. You can add a little pepper as well. Some black pepper. Black pepper. See, already, I'm here in the kitchen and there is already a flavor going on. The whole kitchen is now filled with the flavor from these anchovies. And it's a very delicate one. It's not too fishy. In my family, I have those who do not like anchovies, for example, but once they taste this dish, they always enjoy this dish that we make. And we make it in 20 minutes. You should not really spend more than 20 minutes for this dish. Now, we're going to leave some space in the middle, because that's where we're going to place our fish. And that will allow the onions to continue to cook, to continue to saute and soften during the process. And next, what we're going to do is we're going to place tomatoes all around the edges of the pan. Now we're going to add our tomatoes. One by one, we're going to add them around the circle, around the outer circle of our pan. I used 3 plum tomatoes, 3 ripe plum tomatoes, small ones, also called Roma tomatoes here in the United States. You can use San Marzano tomatoes as well. This recipe also is, in Italian they call like a ricetta shue. Very simple, fast recipe. Okay, oh, I didn't do something right. I didn't calculate, I didn't expect that there would be more space with 3 tomatoes. There's 2 tomatoes left over, 2 slices, but hey, it's only going to make this dish better, the tomatoes, so I'm going to add them a little bit, like, add them on top, on smaller pieces. We're going to add just a little bit of salt, guys. Alright, just a little. And now is the important moment when we're going to add a little bit of more olive oil so the fish doesn't stick. Just a little bit in the middle. Okay. And I'm going to add the fish. I asked the fishmonger to actually cut them in 4 slices, which they did. I'm going to set them aside. It's 4 of us in our family. Set them down directly on the pan. And now just watch. Watch it cook 5 minutes on one side, and then we're going to turn it on its other side and cover it for 5 more minutes. And the dish is done. Now, when is it time to turn the fish over? It's time when you see that half of it is cooked from the bottom. You'll be able to tell. You'll be able to tell very easily. The flame at this point, the flame is about low-medium. Medium, not low, but medium. Watch the fish. Watch the fish. It's starting to cook on the bottom. It needs maybe 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. We're going to turn it over. While the fish is cooking and I'm ready to turn it over in a minute, I have some fresh parsley and I'm just going to chop it. Now, when you're cooking fish, usually fish does not need more than 15 minutes. Whichever fish it is, most of the time you don't want to overcook it. And this is one thing that I've learned through experience. So this fish in particular, halibut, you want to cook it on good, strong heat, but you don't want to overcook this dish because that's what's going to determine how good this dish is going to be at the end. Okay? Once you overcook it, it just becomes a little dry, dries up very quickly. Particularly when we talk about halibut, wild halibut, okay? So we're going to turn it over right now. Just going to turn it on its other side. Okay, Oops. Like so, that's one. These are thin pieces, so, oh, there we go. Turn them over like this. Perfect. And one more. So there we have our 4 pieces, guys. We're going to cover it now. In another 5 minutes, our dish is done. Perfect. I'm going to set it aside, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. It's been about 5 minutes, even less, and look at that. It's done. Watch. It's done. I'm going to turn off the heat. Some parsley now. All right. It made its sauce. What else could you add? You could have added white wine to deglaze the pan juices. When you saw the fish and some of the browning that happened, you can use that in the beginning. Also, you could use capers. You could add some capers, you could add some lemon juice at the very end. I don't particularly like to add lemon juice in this dish because the sauce and the anchovies already give it a lot of flavor. But you can do that. You can add some white wine, just a little bit, just a quarter of a glass, half a glass in the beginning before you add the fish to deglaze those brown juices, pan juices. But I'm very happy with this result. It has a lot of nice sauce that we're going to use, pan juices. What we're going to do is get the plate. We're ready to plate it. There's one. Now we're going to just moisten our fish a little bit, like so, and around as well. I'm going to set some of the tomatoes and very rustic dish. This is a rustic dish, but it's just full of flavor. It's worth trying at home, guys. And we're going to finish it off with some more juice. More of its own sauce. And this is it. A rustic dish for you. Rustic home-style halibut. As you can see, it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's full of flavor. You can surprise your guests, your family, your friends. I'm happy. I'm happy with how it came out. This is not the first time I'm cooking it because I keep getting requests for it from our guests, from our family, and during the quarantine and during this pandemic as well. So make sure to like, subscribe, ask me any questions you have, leave me your comments. Have a great day, guys. Chemo Gemo. Temo from Chemo Gemo.